Hi there, my name is Emma and today's lesson is a pronunciation lesson on du when it sounds like j. Okay? So if you don't understand what I mean by that, you'll understand in a minute. So this lesson focuses on North American pronunciation, first of all. Okay, so first of all, I'd like you to listen to the two following words and listen to how I pronounce them. Okay? Dual. You hear that? Dual. And education. Dual. Education. So we're looking specifically at the DU in both. You'll notice that they don't sound the same. Dual, this is how we would write it phonetically, for those of you who know the International Phonetic Alphabet. It would be spelt like this. So it's a really strong DU sound. Education is different. Education, the DU sounds like a J. Okay, education. So if you're ever curious as to whether or not a word is pronounced like a J, or like DU, D, one thing you can do is you can check the dictionary, and the phonetic spelling of DU when it is pronounced like a J looks like this. Okay, so it looks like a D and a 3. This means J sound. Okay? So in this lesson, we are going to look at many different words that have this DU spelling, but J sound, and we'll also do some tongue twisters towards the end. Okay, so let's get started. I have here a picture. I know it's a very scary image. It was the best one I could draw. And so what we have here is we have a man. I think it's a man. And here are his lips. Here are his teeth, his eye, his nose. And this thing here, I don't know if you can guess what it is, but it's his tongue. Okay, so when you pronounce the J sound, your tongue actually touches what's called it's a ridge that's behind your teeth. So your tongue touches that ridge behind your teeth. I hope you can see it here. And your mouth actually makes a very similar, it looks very similar to how you would pronounce a CH or ch. J and ch are very, very similar. You pronounce them the same way. The only difference is when you say j, there's a vibration in your vocal cords. So this picture shows vibration, meaning it moves down here. You feel a vibration. Whereas with CH, ch, there's no vibration. It comes from your mouth. Okay, so again, J is very similar to CH in pronunciation, in the way your mouth looks. The main difference is with J, it vibrates. Okay, so if you have trouble making the sound, I'm going to give the link to a website that you can check out, and this website is really, really good for pronunciation, and it can really help you with specific English sounds. Okay, so now we are going to look at different words that have this J sound. So I have here a list of words that have the J sound spelt like DU. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go through each word, and I want you to pronounce it after me. The first word is schedule. Okay, and again, this is North American pronunciation. So maybe in Britain you'd hear something like schedule. I could be saying that wrong. I'm not British, but in North American it's schedule. Okay? So say that, schedule. And try to focus on the J sound. Gradual. Gradual. Education. Education. Individual. Individual. Fraudulent. fraudulent. You're probably going to see a lot of words here you don't know. That's okay. You can either look them up after the class. These are very high-level words, like fraudulent. So the main thing is to get the pronunciation. Graduation, graduation. Procedure, procedure. Assiduous, assiduous. So again, you're looking for the j sound. Assiduous. Arduous, arduous. Deciduous, deciduous. Residual, residual. Incredulous, incredulous. Okay? So notice where the DU is for most of these words. For the majority, it's not at the beginning. It's usually in the middle or towards the end. So that's one way you can figure out if it's a j pronunciation. If DU is at the front, it usually is pronounced do, whereas if it's in the middle somewhere, it's usually pronounced j. Now this is an exception. During and duration. Okay? So some people, there are actually two ways to pronounce this. You can actually say during. Some people say during. For me, that sounds kind of strange, but it's possible. Or you can pronounce this like a J and say during. Same with duration. Some people say duration, the duration. I like duration. So this is up to you. And finally, a final thing that has this pronunciation. Did you? Even though you see it spelled did and Y-O-U, it's not following the D-U like we've been saying. It's still pronounced like a J. So when people say did you very quickly, it sounds like did ya? Did you do your homework last night? So again, there's that J sound. Did you eat dinner? So it can either sound like did you with a J or did ya. Okay. So next we are going to practice some tongue twisters. Okay, so here comes the fun part. We're going to do some tongue twisters. So what is a tongue twister? It's where there's a sentence and it has a bunch of sounds that are the same. So in this case, the sound we're going to be working with is j. So I've highlighted anywhere there is a j sound. And so what happens is we're going to say the sentence first. So I'll say it. You can repeat it. And then we're going to say it faster. And then as fast as we can say it. So I want you who are watching this from home to do the same thing. Okay? And we'll see if I'm going to be able to say these very fast. They're a little bit difficult tongue twisters. All right, so let's get started. So the first sentence is the so j sound, educated, individual, so another j sound, graduated, on schedule. Okay? So say that to yourself. Okay, so now we're going to do this a little bit faster. The educated individual graduated on schedule. Okay, can you do it that fast? Okay, and now we're going to do it as fast as we can do it. The educated individual graduated on schedule. Okay, can you do it as fast as that? Okay, so that was the warm-up for this next one, which is actually a lot harder. The procedure, so again, J, during the arduous module was followed by all assiduous individuals. Okay, this is a really intellectual sounding sentence. It's filled with a lot of larger English words. So let's see if we can say this a little bit faster. Okay, so the procedure during the arduous module was followed by all assiduous individuals. Okay. Now let's try this faster. The procedure during the arduous module was followed by all assiduous individuals. Okay, and now we're going to do it even faster if we can. So I'm hoping that this goes well. I might get my tongue all twisted while trying to say this. We'll see. The procedure during the arduous module was followed by all assiduous individuals. Maybe I could do it faster, I don't know. But try to do this as fast as you can. Okay, good. So tongue twisters are useful to practice because they really are a workout for your tongue. It's good exercise, and it's good to practice these types of sounds, j, in actual sentences. Because sometimes for us, it's easy to say j on its own, but as soon as you have to say it in a sentence, it becomes like an exercise or a workout. Okay, so there will be a quiz on j and words with this type of sound in it, spelt like du. So to take our quiz, come visit us at www.engvid.com. Until next time.